there's a guy in Calgary now who says he's going to raise enough money to give Jagmeet his pension. Yeah, but whether that comes to fruition or not, the arithmetic's finally there for Jagmeet Singh. If we have an election call when the House resumes, we're looking at a March election. February, a little tight. Not going to happen. March, yeah. And that's the magic date for Jagmeet Singh. It's March. I think it's March 7th, actually. Lots of time. He will be a member of parliament until he's defeated in the next election. A very good chance he could lose his seat, even in Vancouver. Because like I tell you, it's going to be a massacre with vote splitting. And it's going to be a massacre between the New Democrats and the Liberals in terms of who's going to hit bottom first. Because there's going to be massive vote splitting, and even ridings like downtown Vancouver, downtown Toronto, Edmonton Center, where Randy Boissonneau is probably going down to defeat. These are potentially going to go conservative because of the massive vote splitting on the left this time. Now, this has never really happened before to this degree. And it's going to be absolutely historic. But I tell you that because Jagmeet Singh might want an election in March as opposed to October or June. Because why? And you're saying, okay, he's always been saying, no, we're going to wait. We don't, because if we go right now, it's going to be a conservative majority, and I don't want that. So I'm going to wait until God knows what happens. The Conservatives somehow drop 20 points in the polls overnight. That's what he's perhaps been imagining. I'm going to tell you this today. Now, no, I don't think anyone else has gone here yet. But what do you think of this? Jagmeet Singh is saying, okay, I know I'm not going to be prime minister. I might have a chance of being the official opposition if the bloc sort of implodes. And if I get enough seats from the Liberals, if the Liberals go into complete hibernation, if they go into extinction mode, the NDP has a hope in hell, but not much of one, of becoming the official opposition. But Jagmeet Singh might be saying, all right, better to go sooner rather than later, because if the Liberals have a chance to have a leadership contest and Justin Trudeau does resign, Justin Trudeau is replaced, that's going to hurt the NDP a lot more than it's going to hurt anybody else. So here's my prediction. Jagmeet Singh is going to be on side with this election, and I'm going to tell you in a minute why Charlie Angus, the rogue MP in the NDP caucus, might be voting with Justin Trudeau, because he wants Justin Trudeau to survive, and he wants Justin Trudeau to prorogue Parliament. Now let's have a look at this. Here's what's going to happen. We could be facing a non-confidence motion as early as January 30th. Because Conservative MP John Williamson, he chairs the Committee on Public Accounts. The Public Accounts Committee is going to be meeting on Monday, okay? 4th, 5th, 6th, yeah. It's Tuesday, actually. They're going to be meeting January 7th to consider a motion of non-confidence in the government. Now, if the motion passes, this opens the door for MPs to debate a non-confidence motion in the House as early as January 30th. Now, I've been saying for quite some time, be very simple. Keep it simple, stupid, with this non-confidence motion. Don't make it about carbon tax election. You can talk about that as soon as the government's defeated. You can get back to the talking points as soon as the government's defeated. Make it as simple as possible so everybody can bite into it. Now, this is it. Okay, and John Williamson is saying here, public council will meet starting January 7th to address a motion of non-confidence in the government. The committee's non-confidence report will be tabled in Parliament on January 27th and could be voted on by January 30th. The government no longer commands the confidence of Parliament. Simple. Not let's have a carbon tax election. Not let's have an election on stopping regulation. Not about any specific policy. Just get rid of Justin Trudeau, please, before it's too late. That's what it's going to be about. Here it is. That the House has no confidence in the Prime Minister and the government. That's going to be the non-confidence motion. I think that is exactly what they need to do. And this is going to completely stymie people like Charlie Angus, who really don't want to vote against this. Now, here's something I didn't know. And I worked on the Hill. And I'm trying to think, I was working on the Hill the last time that actually Stephen Harper was in a minority position. And he prorogued, I think. But here's the interesting thing. I looked this up. Since 2003, prorogation has had almost no practical effect on private members' business. As a result of this significant exception to the termination of business principle. So what am I saying? Trudeau prorogues Parliament and the governor general, actually, on the advice of the Prime Minister, prorogues Parliament. It's going to mean that bills like C-63, government bills, will die. Private members' bills won't. So that means the insane C-293 bill, which is essentially going to make meat products illegal during the next pandemic, that will survive. As will Charlie Angus's crazy bill. Let's have a look. So, government bills that would die is C-63, the Online Harms Act, which I've been fighting tooth and nail since the idiotic Attorney General introduced it as some sort of protection for women and children. Bill C-27, aimed at regulating digital platforms, that will be done. That will die too. Odious private members' bills that won't. Nathaniel Erskine Smith, he's the guy from the English Drawing Room Comedy. He's now the housing minister and big-time YouTuber. Gets about 1,000 views every time he goes on. He is the guy behind C-293, the Pandemic Prevention and Preparedness Act, which is essentially a vegan act. It's going to make eating meat or obtaining meat virtually impossible at the whim of government agencies. Now that bill won't die, and neither will Bill C-372. And you're saying, see, I don't remember that one. That one, we covered that quite extensively, actually. And Redacted actually did a segment on that, too. I think I was part of that. But that is the bill that is going to make it a criminal offense to promote fossil fuels or the oil and gas industry. Even having a bumper sticker on your car that says, I love Alberta gas, or I love Canadian oil, or whatever, that will be against the law criminally. And you could be facing huge fines. So that's what Charlie Angus is thinking. We can prorogue Parliament. My bill survives. Charlie's not running again, but he wants that to be his legacy piece of legislation. That Canada is crazy enough to make it a criminal act to promote fossil fuels. Now, that is about as stupid a bill that has ever raised its ugly head in the House of Commons. Charlie Angus can be about as stupid as an MP can be. So the two go very well together. But that's what Charlie Angus wants as his legacy. That incredibly horrible bill. So that's why. And there's lots more crazy. Elizabeth May has a private member's bill, proposes overreaching the personal freedoms and property rights. Bill C-226, recognizing November 11th as Transgender Day of Remembrance. Do you think that could pass? You bet it could. With the current makeup, yeah. There's other stuff. We got more regulation of farmers, more conversion therapy bans. This is all potentially coming and could survive proroguing. We need the non-confidence vote. I've been telling you that for weeks now, for months. We need to come back, have a non-confidence vote, and we need to get into an election immediately. Not just because for the good of the country, because we need a viable, legitimate government to negotiate with Donald Trump, who will be president when this House of Commons comes back. Donald Trump is going to be president in 17 days, folks. 17 days. Donald Trump will be the president of the United States. And if he doesn't think the Canadian government has done enough for border security, 25% tariffs on everything, not just aluminum, not just steel. We've had that in the past. This has never happened before. So that's what's going to happen. And that's why we can't dither. We can't have a leadership race for the Liberals. We can't have prorogation of Parliament for 2 or 3 months. We need to get into an election and get down to business immediately. We need a political change. But we also need to resolve to resist